think we're good. Woo! Okay, guys, I apologize for all of that. That was crazy. Okay, so we are running now. We are going great guns. Oh, great. I forgot to turn off the sound on my monitor, which is delayed by about 10 to 15 seconds. There we go. Got it. No more oh, I lost me. No more confusion. Okay. Hopefully we've got the chat all working and everything's going. And again, right now this is really just me testing out the system. I did this on a fairly short notice. I didn't give any real precursing as far as announcements and stuff like I did before, 3 or 4 weeks in advance, which is why I think we had a much better attendance. But I wasn't really looking for a large attendance this time. I was looking at trying a new area, trying shooting, filming in a new area. Also looking at doing a new, kind of some new elements here. I may even actually throw in an unedited video of something I recorded on vacation a couple of weeks ago. Just my rambling while I was out camping. But we'll see how all that goes here in a little bit. I have several unedited vlogs I may run today. We've got about an hour to fill. That's what I'm hoping to do. The last couple of live broadcasts I did were, I think, 30 minutes and 40 minutes respectively, somewhere in that area. And so we're just going to continue on. We'll see what happens. Hopefully some people will drop by. If they don't drop by, that's fine too. And we'll just continue to keep on. And who knows? All right, so let me pull up my broadcasting. There we go, the broadcasting software. Ooh, that was weird. All right, so there we are. Now, one of the things that I've worked at is getting a second angle going so that when I'm talking, I can do this as well, and we can also kind of transfer back over this way and talk like this. So just kind of got that going, kind of see how that works. And so that's one of the new things we've got going. I have not done this. Let me go ahead and transition this over. All right, so there you can see the chat, which I don't think is currently active correctly. So let me fix that. All right, command copy. And then we go over here to the software. And browser source, properties, command V, and OK. Pardon my nose itching. Had the house cleaned yesterday, and we are in the midst of dust settling. You know how that goes. All right. So we are now, this is the way we have it set up. So you can see me, you can see what's going on here, you can see where we are. Everything's cool, everything's good. Let's see here. Go to the main cam, let's scoot that over a little bit. That's good, right there. Transition it over, there we go. All right, so just got back from vacation. We went all over the place up in the north. We were in Michigan mainly. We did travel through Louisiana. We went through Mississippi. We went through Wisconsin. We went through Missouri. We were all over the place. So, yeah, it's been great. It's been a great trip. Like I said, I'll probably run for you here in a second a video that I did, and we will. I will show that to you. It's unedited. It is just me rambling in front of a camera about 10 something at night. Normally it's dark here. It was not dark there. But you can hear the background and all that kind of stuff. And you can also hear me doing some brainstorming, some dreaming, and some thinking about where I want things that work to go and how I would like to see things that work grow. You'll also notice on the ticker down below that I've got running, you'll see all of the sign up information for our new and extended web presence. I posted recently on Blogger. We've got Twitter feed running. My Twitter feed and Instagram account are now linked, so one thing goes to another one, so it's all connected, and slowly but surely we are building a web presence. Also, there is a Facebook page and group now, so search out Things That Work. You should be able to find it. All right, let's find the ramblings. Forest ramblings. Current blog work. There we go. Okay, so this is completely unedited. It is just me chatting. Okay. All right, well, we're about to see how this thing works. Welcome to Vacation with Mr. George. I am currently on the shore of Lake McKeever in Michigan. Kind of recharging. My wife Allison is in there. She's already turned in for the night. Even though it's bright enough to film, it is really almost 10 o'clock this evening. So, here I am, just kind of giving some free thought, free flowing thought of reflection, maybe some thought about what I'll do in the future, and also letting you know a little bit about how I unwind. My wife and I have been renting Forest Service cabins off and on for the past 4 or 5 years now, and we enjoy it quite a bit. It runs about 30, 40, 60 bucks a night, depends on where you are, how many amenities we have. Right now we're in a pretty rustic cabin. I'll show you some of that in a little bit, and you can see kind of how we're living for about a week. And actually, this is almost a 3-week vacation because my wife got off a little early. And so here I am. It's a little cool outside, not too bad. It is, like I said, it's practically daylight outside. I am using a light right now, but it is practically daylight. Certainly it's dusk as far as the trees are concerned. We're in the Hiawatha Forest. Again, like I said, off the coast of Lake McKeever, in a cabin called McKeever Cabin, which you can find online and see exactly where we are if you like. But it's afforded me a lot of time to really think about what I'm going to do next year and how I'm going to present the next year's curriculum, the next year's things. I will not be leader of the 9th grade team, as we've discussed in other videos, but I am looking forward to really focusing on connecting with my students in a way that I've not done to this point. Now, I've always had really good relationships, really good connections with my students, but I am looking forward to really trying to connect with and help those who are struggling to the point that they will be able to pass our state exam, and I will have the highest rate of passing that I've had to this point of that exam. We call it the STAR exam here, the State of Texas Assessment of something, academic readiness, whatever. It is not a huge focus of what we do, but it is something that we have to do. So by utilizing the reading that we do, utilizing the books, utilizing the things that we do, we're able to build the skills that are necessary for passing that test. One of the things I've always said about that test is that if we are teaching correctly and we are teaching the skills that are needed to succeed, then students will do fine on that test. Most students. There are always those who have special needs. There are those who have just no desire at this point in their life to do anything, and they will usually not do well. I hope this year to have, like I said a moment ago, the highest rate of passing of the STAR test. That's one of my goals that I've had to this point. I really want everyone to, but that's always the case. You always want everyone to pass, and they don't, of course, always do that. So we're going to start early on with the gamification of my classroom and points based on various behaviors, various skill levels, various skills that they learn, and skills that they're able to show that they have the ability to master, they have mastered. And I will go into great detail on how that's going to look, how that will look, and how that will appear to the students. I also will have different levels and plateaus that they can reach. And anyway, so we'll talk about all of that as it develops. I'm very excited about the alphabet series, as I've mentioned before, that will be running soon. We'll start that alphabet series in September. And we will start the current trends in education series also in September. And we'll alternate the two every other week. So that's my current plan. Now that can always change, who knows, but that's what we're going to look at. And I know in the current trends of education, what you'll hear is a lot of the buzzwords, a lot of the phrases that you're going to hear. And you know, I get tired of hearing other teachers talk about, oh, this is the flavor of the month, and they'll change it next year. Well, that may be the case where you are, and that may be the case where I am from time to time. But in everything that passes through my district anyway, and everything that has gone through that phase, if you want to call it, where the entire district is focused on one thing, what I have noticed is this. everything that's gone through that has had at least 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 things that are worth paying attention to and adopting into your own style of teaching. So I encourage you, no matter how boring, no matter how monotonous, no matter how frustrating it seems, that people keep changing programs and changing things and changing ideas on you, I really encourage you to look for the things you can use in these new ideas. Now, I hope that by Christmas, I'll be presenting some things that maybe you haven't heard about yet, or if you have heard about, they've just kind of been mentioned and maybe haven't made it mainstream into your district yet. I hope, that's my hope. Now, if not, I hope at least to give a kind of a ground level survey of some things that are going on, trends in education. And I hope that they will be helpful to you, and that you will, at least when the terms come up, you'll know exactly what is going on, or at least have a basis of knowing for what is going on. I hope that when those terms come up, that you will have kind of a ground level foundation to build on as far as what is actually going on. One of the things I've discovered is there are a lot of terms that come up, a lot of things that happen. I'll use blended learning as an example. Last year, the term blended learning started circulating over and over and over in our district and in the meetings that we would have as team leaders. And it was kind of vague, it was kind of abstract, it was kind of not really, there was really nothing really concrete about it that I could grab a hold of and use. So I went out and researched it on my own, found some ways to do it, and there's some things that I will share with you when we get to discussing blended learning in a little more detail that will help you as far as implementing this idea and actually knowing what the idea is. Because there's a lot of things that it's not, and there's a lot of things that it is, and I will share that with you as well. But there's there are so many different trends and ideas and things that are surfacing in education. It's very exciting. But I can also see, and I also feel from time to time, how frustrating it is when a district latches onto something and sees it through maybe for a year, maybe 2 years, but no further. And so I hope that as districts do this, maybe your district does this from time to time, you will find 1, 2, 3, or 4 things that will help add to your style of teaching. I enjoy learning with you. I enjoy teaching with you. And together, we can take over the world. All right. Well, I'm back. And that was from our vacation. That was something that, let's see here. Get me in the center of the frame. There we go. Anyway, so that was from our vacation over the last couple of weeks while I was in Michigan. So I will be doing a large video on blended learning. I have already recorded a very short video on blended learning, which you'll see when I start the alphabet series in August. I have already recorded all the way through M, which is halfway through the alphabet. This coming week or next week, this week or next week, I'm planning on recording all the way through Z. And then I will begin on the trends in education videos, which will begin in January, February or so. So yes, things are moving along quite nicely. As I have mentioned in some of the videos, I have stepped down from my leadership role of freshman English at my campus. This allows me to free up some time for this, also free up some time for really developing my classroom and spending much more concentrated time with my students and focusing on specific needs that they have individually. Now, I do that all the time, just like you do, I know. But in this case, I am Well, I'll just tell you, last year was kind of weird because they I ended up getting called on 2 weeks before our big state standardized test to a meeting at least every other day and almost every day those 2 weeks, when I could have been using that time to really brush up on some of those students who were really struggling with some skills, with some invited tutorials, which, by the way, I don't, whatever subject you're in, invited tutorials are huge, especially once you've built a relationship in that first 3 or 4 weeks of school, to approach a student and say, hey, I would really like to work with you on whatever the skill is, and invite them to stay after school for tutorials with you and maybe a couple other students, and really focus on those skills for that student. It is amazing how quickly a student improves when you're able to get that one-on-one time with them. So I encourage that. That's kind of a big deal, and I will be doing again a video on invited tutorials, but this is a chance for us to just get a chance to kind of just, for me to just off the top of my head talk about it. I saw some really good results this year. It was really good. So I encourage that a lot. I think that's probably the biggest bang for your buck. There's all kinds of things that we call interventions on my campus. It involve everything from having kind of a blitz on the Saturday before the test, and all this kind of stuff. But I really think the biggest bang for your buck, so to speak, the biggest improvements I've seen have been with students who took advantage of the invited tutorials. So that's that. All right. So anyway, I would encourage any teacher who is interested in improving their students' scores, their students' abilities, their students' skills, to really focus on identifying specific needs for the individual students, like I said, inviting them for after-school tutorials. All right, I apologize for all the weird noiseness. The weird noise, it turns out, was that whole camping rambling running in the background. So again, I apologize for that. I had no idea that was happening until I turned my cell phone monitor on, and then I discovered what was going on. So we've learned a lot today. Here's what we've learned using OBS. I have learned that you can accidentally get multiple audio streams running and multiple video streams running at the same time if you're not careful. I do think there's a much more efficient way of handling multiple video streams, and if I were planning to run unedited video, which next time I will be able to take care of that. So I do hope everyone will stick through this. I do apologize for that. I probably will take this video down after a couple of days, and because I don't expect a lot of people to watch an hour's worth of my rambling, and an hour's worth of what all's going on. Now, one of the things I have toyed with is actually getting in and addressing maybe some of the political, I don't know if political is the right word, but some of the current topics, the really hot button topics facing teachers. If I get out on the edge like that, I know that I'm going to have views that are going to depart from some of you. You will have views that depart from me, and that's okay. Part of what we teach as teachers is being tolerant, and being tolerant means accepting that other people have different views than yourself. That doesn't mean you have to have their views or adopt their views or even agree with them. But you do have to accept that people have different views, whether you agree with them or not. The bottom line is we are on common ground. The common ground is that we want our students to be successful. We want our students to be successful. We all do. That's what we want. And so with that common ground, I think we can do anything. We really can take over the world. Now, with that said, some of the topics I'm looking at are, I live in Texas, and I'm looking, we hear about arming teachers in the classroom to prevent school shootings and things like that. So I probably will do something on that topic. But again, like I said, it's not a time to judge. It's a time to be tolerant. Listen if the view is different than your own, or if the view doesn't go as far as your own view. You probably need to realize that we just have different views on this, and that's the way it's probably going to be. I'm not getting up here to debate it. I'm not getting up here to tell you how things are, but I will tell you how I see a few things, and who knows, we might even get some good dialogue going. And one of the great things about having different viewpoints and different opinions is that by sharing them, by combining them, by working together with differing views, you can come up with something you never imagined possible. And not only that, but you can come up with things that are much more effective than they would have been it would have been with just your idea or my idea. You can come up with things that are so out of the realm of what you thought about if you're open to other people's views. It's great. It's a wonderful thing. It's one of the things I enjoy about education. I just wish that more people were open to seeing other people with views that are different than their own. And a lot of times we decide our views are right, someone else's views are wrong if they don't match ours, and that's just not the case. There's a whole nother set of views out there you've probably never even heard. And that doesn't make them right or wrong, but again, getting together and discussing them together and collaborating can produce another set of views, and one that's even more effective than what you had to begin with. It's just some thoughts. Definitely something that I am interested in. Like I said, we've got guns in school. We've got the current political situation. We've got the current Secretary of Education, all these things that we could sit here and discuss. And of course, then there are state things that can be discussed. Standardized testing of teachers. These are all things that are possible discussion points, but I don't want that to become the focus. That's why I haven't done it to this point. That's why I'm not doing it now. That's why I am simply electing to tell you I'm thinking about it. Because really, things that work is not about views. Things that work is not about political events. Things that work is not about crisis in education. Things that work is about information that works in the classroom. And that's it. It doesn't go any farther than that, really. So anything else that I do, anything like that I do is simply going to be extra, and it will I don't know, it'll just enrich what we do, and it'll have to highlight what we've already got going on. If this kind of thing doesn't highlight the information that I'm sharing, then I'm not going to do it. It's much like when I incorporate, magic into my classes. If it doesn't highlight the lesson, I don't do magic just for entertainment in my classes. I do it to help students remember what is being taught. If it's going to distract from what's being taught and the students are going to leave talking about the wonderful magic trick and illusion that I performed in my classroom and not the lesson that's being taught, then I have completely missed the mark in what I'm trying to do. So instead of doing a magic trick every day or something like that, I really try to focus on making sure it highlights message. Well, if talking about the current trends in education, talking about various things that are going on in the periphery of political world, or in the, really are not things that I can deal with in the classroom, there's a good chance I'm not going to talk about it on this channel. Now, I also understand that when something like a school shooting occurs, it is completely disruptive to everything that we are and do as teachers. And perhaps those are times where things that need to be discussed. And I know that we had great discussions amongst my students and myself after this last shooting here near where we live. And things are changing at our school as far as safety procedures and that type of thing. I'll share more about that as well, because that definitely is something that I will be dealing with this year in the classroom. And so it'll definitely be something that we discuss. All right, so I Man, wow, we've almost been going for an hour now. So yeah, we've got like, let's see, 52, 53, 45. We got like 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left, and we're done. This is the time we start. My kids start packing their stuff up, putting their things away, and I'm like, "Whoa, dude, we got 8 minutes, man! I can still teach you things in 8 minutes." You ever notice that when we start winding things down? I know it happens on YouTube as soon as the lead out music goes, that I play. People click off. I can see when people click out of the videos. So I mean, I know that we're creatures of habit. We know when it's almost over. If you're watching this, you're probably clicking out. You're getting ready to go. Hey, I just finished listening to like 3 of him talking at the same time over each other, and it was awful. Yeah, it was awful. I apologize for that. I hope you fast forwarded through it. Anyway, I will. I'll probably leave this up in about a week. See if anyone pays any attention to it. If you're interested, I still have some spare copies of First Days of School by Harry Wong. If you want one, leave a message down below. I'll see what I can do. I don't know, man. Obviously, we don't have any questions. I don't think anybody dropped by. And next time I do a live broadcast, I'm going to give at least a week's notice and hammer and pound the social media aspect of all of this. Be sure and sign up for Twitter if you want. Sign up for Instagram, please. Also, there's Pinterest and Blogger and all that kind of stuff. So, and Google Plus. So, yeah, all that information will be linked down below. It's also in the scrolling bar. So feel free to connect. Let's see here. I might even be able to put it. Nope, can't put it there. I was going to put it in the chat. I may be able to put it in the chat. Let's see if I can put it in the chat. I bet I can. Here we go. All right. Let's put it in the chat. Last thing in the chat probably will be all of the contact information. Let's see. All of the contact information. All right. So, if you will follow the all right, almost done. Trying to get the extra periods out from when I double space. Okay, there we go. Boom. Oh, it won't let me. It's too big. 44 characters too big. Let's try that. There we go. All right, so there you go. There's some links for you in the chat, and you are welcome to use those. I do believe it's about 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and sign off since I started early anyway. I enjoy learning with you. I enjoy teaching with you. And together we can take over the world.